Surgery last night to repair the torn ACL in his left knee that happened in the loss to the Chargers on Sunday. So 9 months is typically the recovery time for ACL tears, meaning Mahomes will miss the team's offseason program, training camp, and it puts his availability for the start of the next season in question. The 2026 NFL season opener is set for September 10th. All right, so with that loss to the Chargers, the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era. That ends 10 consecutive 10-win seasons and 9 consecutive AFC West titles. So, Canty, as we look at the fallout from this, because it has been a miserable year in Kansas City, aside from this Mahomes injury, which is literally adding insult to injury.
Yeah.
Is this just a bad year for Kansas City, or is this a sign that the Chiefs' dominant run, the dynasty, is over?
Oh, the dynasty is done. The Chiefs, as we know them, are finished. And I think this year highlights the malpractice that has gone on within that franchise over the last several years. They have taken the greatness of Patrick Mahomes for granted. And I will say something that one of my good friends, Nick Wright, who is a Kansas City Chief, said yesterday. We're about to find out just how bad the Kansas City Chiefs are during these final 3 weeks of the regular season. They have not protected the franchise, which is Patrick Mahomes. This year, Patrick Mahomes is the second most contacted quarterback over the last 3 years. No quarterback has been hit more on dropbacks than Patrick Mahomes. And oh, by the way, during that same span, their receivers lead the league in drops, and they're 22nd in rushing. So you mean to tell me your quarterback doesn't have any protection, your quarterback doesn't have reliable receivers, and you have no reliable running game to lean on? Got it. That's the best way to accentuate a top 5 quarterback of all time. It makes no sense. Everybody that's in charge in decision-making power in Kansas City needs to look themselves in the mirror, and they need to get serious about trying to do right by Patrick Mahomes by fortifying that roster and putting better supporting cast around him. And until they do, we will look at one of the greatest talents that we've seen up at the quarterback position in NFL history and wonder why he can't get back to the level that we saw him at through the first 7 years of his career.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you know, oh, go ahead, Stephen. Now, you got something?
CC is not wrong with what he's saying, but I find myself sitting here believing that he's a bit too harsh. I really do. I mean, I'm just, again, I'm thinking about this brother that gets up 6 o'clock in the morning terrorizing America on that radio show. And I'm just saying, damn, you know, he's just terrorizing everybody, you know. And I find this more the same. Like, they've been to 5 of the last 6, they've been to 5 Super Bowls in 6 years. They've been to 3 straight. They won back-to-back titles, right? And I'm saying, okay, coming into the season, we had expectations for them. It wasn't just for Patrick Mahomes, but one thing he can't do is catch his passes. We didn't anticipate the Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy and Thornton and even Travis Kelce were going to be dropping passes. We didn't anticipate that. So again, I agree with you that the dynasty is over, but I'm thinking about it because Denver is here. Chargers are coming. Jacksonville and Houston can't be ignored. The New England Patriots have arrived. I'm thinking about it because of those reasons, as opposed to something that you really, really can't anticipate. All of these drop passes, really, did you expect that? I didn't expect that. And that, so now I'm looking at it, all right, your pass rush is suspect. Your running game, you pointed that out, CC, obviously, there's lack of production as well, no doubt about that. But receivers dropping passes, that's not something that you expected from them. And then I'm looking at it now, and you're absolutely right. They're the second worst cap team in the National Football League. The only team with, over the cap as much as they are is the Dallas Cowboys. So it is a really precarious situation that they're in. I'm just saying to myself, damn, if you told me that, I was going to have Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy as my receivers this year, I think that's a pretty good crop. That's how I'm thinking about it, CC, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I would say this. I would say that everybody on the offensive side of the football for the Kansas City Chiefs has ownership in this, right? Like, Patrick Mahomes didn't play his best football. The receivers didn't play their best football. The offensive line had a bunch of injuries. They didn't play their best football. The running game was what it was, those running backs. I think part of it is the Brett Veach, they need another run of like Bolton, Humphrey, Trey Smith, McDuffie. They need some young players to come in and be developed. I think everybody rested on their laurels of Patrick Mahomes going to drop back and save us. And he'll make do and he'll make plays out of nothing. And the problem with that philosophy is it only travels so far. And when your quarterback starts getting hit the way he was, all the timing gets thrown off, things happen. The other part, to Stephen A's point, a lot of teams offensively have caught up. You think about like the Sean McVays, but think about Ben Johnson, year one, Liam Cohen, year one. Like these guys are coming in and they are a value add. They're getting young players to play exceptionally well, really quickly. They're putting them on there. And that Trevor Lawrence, he's not a young player, obviously, but he's never played nearly as well as he has this season. And that's part of what Liam Cohen has done. And I look at these teams, Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels, what they're doing with Drake May in New England. Everybody else has done and has kind of grown. I did not feel the same way about Andy Reid and Matt Nagy. I don't feel like there was a lot of creativity in that offense, which is really the opposite of how people kind of identify them. And is part of it because of injury or lack of run game? I don't know. But the facts are the facts. They haven't done the things to help Patrick Mahomes. And unfortunately, with the injury, we're gonna have to wait for quite some time to see him back.
Canty, let me chime in here to piggyback off of something you said where I do get your point even more so. When you talk about what's criminal, Jeff Saturday just brought up that Andy Reid, Matt Nagy, the pair, and how an absence of innovation, an absence of creativity, etc. What's criminal about that is that we saw that in a blowout loss in the Super Bowl. You would think that is something that would have been alleviated considering the manner in which you lost on the biggest football stage in the world. And we saw none of that. And you got 12-0, including the postseason, 12-0 last year in one-score games. This year they were 1-7. So you just find yourself looking at them and saying, "What's up?" That does point to that Matt Nagy, Andy Reid combo right there that you would have expected better than that from them, no doubt.
So how do you fix it, Canty? You mentioned the cap space. They're $43.5 million over the cap next year. The offensive line's bad. The receivers aren't good. There's no run game. How do you fix it? They've got nothing but time without Patrick Mahomes for at least 9 months.
Well, the cap part is not as complicated. That's just two restructures, Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones. So that'll take care of itself. But getting the return on investment on the draft picks is absolutely mission critical.
Yes.
3 of their last 5 first-round draft picks have been on the offensive side of the ball. And they haven't gotten a return on those investments. And then, oh, by the way, we got embarrassed in the Super Bowl in large part because our offensive line couldn't stop a parked car, i.e. the pass rush of the Philadelphia Eagles. And what is our response in the offseason? Trade away our best offensive lineman. That's brilliant.
Right.
Absolutely brilliant. But here's what I will say. I don't think that Patrick Mahomes is blameless in all of this, but I don't blame him for anything that he's done off the field. Where I will hold him accountable is where we hold all-time great quarterbacks accountable, which is their leadership. And that has not been displayed in terms of holding players to a standard and having a sense of urgency that's required. There's always a healthy amount of tension in any productive workplace, and the Kansas City Chiefs just don't have that. And quite frankly, that's been missing on that offensive side of the ball since Eric Bieniemy left the building. And I'm wondering whether or not Patrick Mahomes can step in and be that in order for the Kansas City Chiefs offense to move forward.
Yeah, both of those people that you mentioned, Eric Bieniemy, Joe Tuchel,
by the way,
the offensive lineman. Where are they now?
In Chicago, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good.
When you talk about Joe Thuney, I'm like, you traded him away for a 4th-round pick when you know you got to protect Patrick Mahomes? You got a point, CC. You got a point, CC. Yeah, you just do. You just do.
Let's leave it here. Let's move on to the AFC East. What a comeback.